All right, getting ready to dive in back here. You guys saw the front stuff. Here's the rear. So you can see that the rotors are super old. I don't know if they're within spec or not, but calipers are old, pads are old, shocks old, hoses just crusty and ready to bust in half. These are super crusty. And if I can get a shot of them, you can't really see, but they're just crusty. As soon as I bet you that outer little sheathing of the rubber comes apart when I take it out of there. But I got all new stuff in here, so all these arms, all this stuff, sway bar bushings, end links, control arm. The lower control arm has a bushing. It's gonna get new sway bar bushings here. They look halfway decent, so I might not do those right away. And I say that because I haven't ordered them yet, but I've got everything else. I've got all these bars, and I know some of these things are twisted, and the ass end is definitely out of alignment somehow. This thing's hit something somewhere along the line. So I'm gonna go in there and kind of check stuff out. There's a big main bearing in here. I'm gonna change that out. It's a monster of a bearing that goes back there, but yeah. So all these control arms, the shock, lower control arm bushings on both sides. Got all that stuff. I bought the aftermarket. Well, they're not, I don't know if they're aftermarket, but they're Moog. But these are the sway bar end links. These are plastic. I bought the metal ones. We're gonna rebuild this whole thing. And I'll pull these out of here. These usually get kind of crummy looking, so I'll take them out and kind of scratch them down and repaint them. And so I want you guys to see what it looks like ahead of time. All this stuff in here from Four Leg, this big crack in this thing. This is from me before I was taking them out, and it was a hot summer day. I got pissed off at it and yanked it and broke it, so it needs a new one. Or I could probably fix it, but you know, you can buy all these things. Spider up here, he comes with it. We'll hang out until he gets crazy. He's probably dead, but anyway, you can kind of see what's going on in here, and then I'll show you some shots of afterwards. I've got springs. I've got lowering springs for the back, but the thing's already where I want it, and I got these big fat tires on the back of it. And I'm thinking right now, with these stock springs in the back of it, you know, you can adjust. There's a little adjuster under here where you can raise the ass end up and down. Now what I did when I put these big fat tires on the back of it, they're 275s. Right now, if this shock fails and I'm out driving around, the car will drop down, but it won't drop down far enough to where the tire is rubbing on anything in here. I can still get it home. If I drop this ass end down another inch and a half, or 2 inches or so with these coil springs putting in there, I think it would, if I lost a shock or the hydraulics in the back failed, the car could come down far enough to where the inner fender here or the inner fender here touches the tire, and then I get into problems really quick where the car's dead in the water. I'm not certain of that yet, but I am going to check it, and I'll give you an update to let you know if the aftermarket springs are a hinder to that. And that's granted, that's with this setup here with, you know, the W140 sedan with the monoblock. They're Aero 2s, I believe. They're monoblock. I just call them the monoblock 2s, but they're like a 8 in the front, 9.5 in the back. That's a 245 up front, 275 in the back. I mean, and it's for the room that's back here. The 275 is all of it. It takes everything this thing's got, and it's tight. Not touching anything, and there's no binding or anything. There's nothing like that, but it's close, like within a 1/4 inch or less. It's pretty tight back here. So kind of want to keep it like that. I want to keep it cool and not have, I don't want any rubbing issues, especially not in just like, you know, like with a vet or anything else. It can't be. You just can't, it can't be like that. So let's see where the thing here is close. Like we're too close here. It just needs to be pushed back and bent a little bit. It's just kind of shaped and sized, you know, shaped a little better. And I'll do that when I got it all apart, but I'll show it to you when I start making some headway. But I'm about to start tearing some stuff apart. I'd like to get the biggest part of this side torn apart today, and then tomorrow put this side back together, and then, you know, the other side. It'll take a week to do all of this. I'm not putting 8-hour days into it or anything, but it's real nice this weekend to be a good time to kind of tear into it, put some new stuff, new rotors and calipers and pads and bearings, and put all this new stuff in here, and then take it up and get it all lined, get a 4-wheel alignment on the whole thing with all the new suspension stuff. So either way, I'll figure out the thing with the springs, because I can always put the lowering springs in it and it'll drop the car down, and then I can hit the little lever, which is there's the little actuator for this rear leveling system, and I can push the car back up. But if something fails, it's going to come down even further, and I just don't want it touching tires or doing anything weird like that. So we might leave the stock springs in the back for the time being. But with all this apart, now's the time to do it. So I kind of got to figure it out. So I think I'll use one side as a test side, and then put it all together, and then get under there and actuate that and set the car all the way down as far as it's going to go. And if it's touching or rubbing, then this stock spring's going to go back in it, because I'm pretty certain so far that with the stock spring, it'll stop it'll, even with the suspension fully failed from the hydraulics, once it sets all the way down, it's not setting on the tire. So ass end can totally fail and you can still get home. That's what I want. I want the redundancy. I don't care what it looks like. I want to be able to get home. So anyway, let's tear this apart and I'll see you in the next one. All right, later.